Hi, everyone. So I'm Gabe Peters. I'm going to be coaching at the esports camp coming up here in July, hosted at Redeye Gaming Lounge in association with Kelowna Gas Esports. So I'm trying to prepare something today to send along to those of you who might have questions about this. I've talked to a number of people, and so that's what's kind of prompted this into being. I've talked both to students who were interested in this and kind of wondering, how to pass along that information to their parents. And then I've talked obviously to parents who have had a lot of questions and just has led me to want to put something together to try and introduce this Overwatch 2 camp that we're going to be doing as an opportunity for students to connect and grow in their gaming and learn kind of the team play skills associated with sports and that kind of thing. And also, yeah, take their gaming to the next level and have an opportunity to have something to do for a week in the summer that is going to be really thrilling and maybe potentially open a lot of doors for them. So, with that, I do want to get started with first things first and a bit of an introduction of myself as a coach and a gamer and as a person. A lot of you who are going to be seeing this most likely are going to know me. But for those who don't, I am Gabe Peters. I went to MEI here in town and I have been coaching and gaming for a really long time. And that's something I hope that I can um, honestly say that I'm very well versed in and experienced in. I've done everything from coaching at soccer camps and summer camps throughout the years. I've led in a local preschool program for more than 10 years, played a prominent leadership role in a youth program, and have, yeah, worked with students in that for more than 7 years, I think. And so it's been a long time for all of that stuff. And it's been really special to get to connect with the students. And yeah, a lot of you watching this are probably watching this because at some point, I led your kid in something like a soccer camp or a youth group. And if so, hi, and I hope this finds you well. And yeah, I just want to pass on an opportunity that I think a lot of your kids are going to be really, really excited about. This is the kind of thing that I would have killed for when I was growing up and playing games and wishing I could take that to the next level, kind of the dream of being a pro gamer, I think rolls off the tongue, sounding a bit like a joke when people hear it the first couple of times. But it's something that I've actually been able to achieve and has been a really special part of my life and something I'd like to bring as an opportunity to more and more people now going forward. So, with that, to speak a little bit to my resume on the gaming side of things, if you're going to be sending your kid to a camp, obviously, for a week to learn from a coach, you want to know that that coach is good at what they're doing. And so I just want to touch lightly on some of that. So I started with um, Overwatch in 2021, but I have been playing games at a high level for more than a decade, quite honestly. But Overwatch is something I started in earnest in 2021 and eventually went on to found Kelowna Gas or KG Esports and the UFE esports program, basically so that my team would have a platform from which to compete. And since then, I have now been a part of this team for 2 years, and we have pushed our way all the way into the first tier professional scene of competitive Overwatch, and that's been really special. And the UFE program that I started, I've opened up to all the other students, and I actually run that now. And there's 140 students across a bunch of different esports that are involved with that and kind of report to me, and that's been really, really special as well. So just wanted to speak a little bit to some of the accomplishments that we've had in that, both for myself as a player and a coach and the director of that program and even the founder of that program. So it's been really, really special for me and something that I'm hoping to continue to bring to a whole new host of students and people moving their way through kind of middle school and high school, which is a place where I would have really loved to be able to take my gaming somewhere that felt like it was part of a team and like it was an opportunity to try to push towards semi-professional or professional play. And so that's what Jordan, who runs the center, Redeye Gaming here in Abbotsford, and I've tried to put together with this camp. And we're really excited about it. And we're hoping that we can get a lot of people on board with that. So that's what this is all about here. Yeah, so I wanted next to introduce Overwatch 2 a little bit. Obviously, there are a million games out there and a million different names that get thrown around. And so it can be easy to kind of lump them together and not know which one's which. And just Google searching Overwatch 2 is going to send you into a really wide world of how to buy an account and how to set it up and random videos of the cinematic trailers for it and all this stuff. And it might just be a little overwhelming. So I just want to give you, I don't know, minute or two here of just a really focused explanation of a couple of things about Overwatch. Overwatch, I'll read off what I've written here, which is highly not recommended in presentation, but oh well, I wrote this on purpose. So, Overwatch 2 is a competitive team based shooting game. which revolves around an expansive roster of diverse characters, all with their own unique playstyle, abilities, and backstory. The strategy of Overwatch is based on individuals choosing their favorite heroes and teams, picking the right composition of complementary heroes for the job. The way that a team combines their vast array of abilities is the key to victory, requiring high levels of team play, coordination, cooperation, and problem solving. So, a lot of fancy words there. But the basic part of Overwatch that I think is really important to understand is this: it is a hero based team game. And so, the biggest thing in Overwatch is the way that you play with your team. And I think that's one of the real benefits of Overwatch. It's been really special to me and some of the people that I've played with, is that this game plays like a sport. And so, while your kid is maybe not going to get a whole bunch of physical exercise running around doing this, they are going to experience a lot of the benefits that come with being on a sports team. You have to learn to cooperate with your team members. There's these three different roles here. So that's what I've got up on screen right now at the moment is a screenshot I just took the other day of the hero selection. And so there's a support role which focuses on healing the team and keeping them alive, supporting them in the fight. There's the damage role, which is a little bit like your kind of striker in soccer or forward in hockey. They are doing a lot of the scoring for your team. And the tank who protects the team and takes up space and kind of leads the charge and makes a way for their team. Now, there's 40 characters in here, and teams are teams of five. So you're going to be playing a lot of different heroes as you go in Overwatch. And so a big part of it is determining what combination of characters do I, as a team of five, or do we, as a team of five, want to play. For example, we might play, or we're always going to be playing two supports, two damage characters, and one tank. Now, a character like Lucio over there on the right side is really fast, and so a tank that really benefits from him is someone like Reinhardt on the left side, who also benefits from speed. And there's a lot of decision making that goes into the strategy of Overwatch of what five characters are you going to play that hopefully synergize together and help you as a team. And so that's a really big part of what has been beneficial to me in Overwatch and to my friends who are gamers who hadn't played a lot of sports growing up, whereas I had that opportunity and was really blessed by that, but was able to bring some of my friends who hadn't into the fold of kind of team play and understanding how what it is to be cooperating with your friends as a team and to be competing and at a really high level and doing all of that. And so that's been really special. That's something I think is really great and really exciting about Overwatch. And one of the big things that I'm going to be focusing on in the coaching and the drilling and everything that we do during our week at Redeye. The next thing, and this is actually one of the major motivations for making this video, is just a number of students I've talked to and parents I've talked to. Everybody, the big thing is just kind of the word on the street with video games sometimes is that you've got, your Call of Duties and your Grand Theft Autos and all these terrible things and all this blood and everything in video games. And it's just a big, wide, scary world. And there's a couple of things to say to that. Generally, like one or two, and I think everyone will understand this, but one or two video games that are like that does not mean every video game is like that, right? Just because there are movies out there that you wouldn't want your kid to watch doesn't mean that every movie in the world is bad. Your kid watching Frozen 2 is not going to be watching the same level of violence that they would in, any kind of new release adult film. So there's something to be said for that. And it really means that Overwatch is worth looking at separately from all the other video games. So you don't want to look at this and see a word in the description and go, oh, so there's guns in the game. Well, there's a few, but to be honest, and I'll go on to describe this in more detail, Overwatch features a lot of creative ways of making the violence very cartoony and kind of funny. The character I play, for example, has pretty much a megaphone that I use to kind of push people around and shoot little sound waves and stuff at them. And there's all kinds of stuff going on that way that makes this not the most dramatically violent experience that you're ever going to have in video games. And we'll go on to talk about that a little bit more. This I actually maybe should have put on the other side of the content review screen now that I'm looking at it. So this is yeah, pretty much written down what I talked about, touched on a little bit at the end of the Overwatch introduction, is just to say that it revolves around an expansive roster of diverse characters, all with their own unique playstyle, abilities, and backstory. And so this game, yeah, again, requires a high level of team play, coordination, cooperation, and problem solving. And that's, again, a big thing that we're going to be trying to bring with this camp. To move back to our content review, we've got Plugged In Game Reviews is, if you don't know, a Christian game and movie, well, primarily movie review resource that is something that, for example, my mom definitely used while I was growing up when she was trying to decide what movies can we watch, what games can we buy, all that kind of stuff. So Bob Hoos from Plugged In Game Reviews, our friends over at Plugged In, describes Overwatch as having I have an extra E in there, which is strange. Sorry. Anyways, Bob Hoos from Plugged In Game Reviews describes Overwatch as having cartoony, blood or blood-free violence, saying that the cartoony play is mess-free and feels more friendly to young gamers than other trigger pullers, which I think is a really important distinction. Not every game that has a shooting mechanic in it is as bloody as, say, a Call of Duty. Um, and in a recent article I was just reading up and was kind of fun to see him referencing a new game that's coming out actually as having been inspired by Overwatch, and he refers to the entire genre of Overwatch inspired games as being relatively mess free. They're saying there is no blood or flesh rending, just zaps of light and color, which is something again that I wanted to touch on and kind of describe is yeah, that real sense that Overwatch is not um, spurts of red, dusty blood. It's not Saving Private Ryan. It's nothing like that. It is bright colors and funny looking heroes. There is a hamster in a ball, like the movie G-Force, or like a hamster in a ball in real life who swings around in this game and bumps people around in his giant robotic ball that he swings in. He's an actual hamster. So it's not the kind of realistic, gritty violence that you're going to find in a lot of other games. And in fact, I think I have a clip here next.
Never
I'm
fear,
gonna
I've
roll.
arrived. Never fear, I've arrived.
So obviously, a big part of that clip is me and my excitement over the success that we just experienced in that, and it moves very quickly, so I do apologize for that. But what you just saw is me, and if you're looking at it now and seeing probably the still frame at the end of the video, that is me with essentially a megaphone, and I just used it to produce a green wave of sound that knocked three opponents off of a bridge and into the water. And that is really what the gameplay cycle here looks like a lot. We're going to play that again.
Never fear, I've arrived. Never fear, I've arrived.
So hopefully now with a bit of description you can catch a little more of what's really going on there. I am sliding in because my character Lucio has essentially hockey skates that he uses to skate on the ground and on the walls, and I have a megaphone that produces an exciting green shade of sound and poops people. Poop being our word for kind of knocking people back. Off of this bridge in Venice, it's one of the many maps in Overwatch. There's a lot of different pretty places that you're going to go and be playing. But as you can see here, it's not an AK-47 and an explosion. It is a megaphone and a green sound wave, and people falling into the inviting waters. So that really is a lot of what Overwatch gameplay kind of looks like. These comically big cartoon hammers and things, and it is honestly more akin to an episode of the Looney Tunes than a game of Call of Duty. The last thing I want to touch on for content review briefly is a conception I think that a lot of people have that video games are created to. I've read some old papers, and a common phrase seems to be that people think video games indulge the male fantasy. And so they have this idea that then every video game character is going to be this incredibly slender and scantily clad female. And again, I wanted to bring us back to the screenshot of the hero selection in Overwatch and just explain that, express that there are 40 characters in this game. And so a handful of them are going to be, sure, a conventionally attractive woman. However, a handful of them are going to be conventionally attractive men or conventionally unattractive people of either gender, or you're going to have, as you can see if you look around a little bit, some robots and cyborg ninjas and things, the attractiveness level of which obviously I can't really speak to, but just to say that like there are 40 characters in this game and there is a lot of diversity among them, and so it's not something that's created to be an excuse to look at a bunch of attractive women. It is a selection of 40 people of all kinds of different backgrounds and stories and character arcs and all these things going on. We've got Lucio, who I play, is this Brazilian man who is a DJ. If you look over on the other side, we've got Wrecking Ball, who I alluded to as a hamster. Winston next to him is a talking monkey on the lower left side over there. You've got Sigma, who's a very old man who plays music and uses the power of music and science to then lift enemies up and move them around, kind of like Lucio again using sound. There's a couple of references to things like that. You've got above them, Orisa and Ramatra, for example, are these robot heroes. You look over a little bit towards the center, towards the top, you've got Bastion, who's wearing a little baseball cap, is also kind of a funny looking robot. And you've just got all kinds of different fun and varietal heroes like that. And I just want to express that it's not something where you're getting just one thing, and it's not something where you're getting um, the indulgence of the male fantasy. It's something where you're getting a kind of realistic sampling of a lot of different people, of a lot of different backgrounds and stories and relations to one another. There's a mother and daughter, Anna and Farah, in this game. And there's all these kind of stories and backlines, or sorry, backstories, and that's not something that factors into the gameplay a whole bunch because at the end of the day, it does come down to kind of like a hockey game. You've got teams of five playing against each other, competing to win the game. But all of these characters do have these real deep backstories, and there's a lot of variety in what kind of characters and genders and nationalities and all kinds of things are factoring in. And so there's a lot of variety in that. And I think it's something that's worth noting that this is just, um, I think there's a lot of beauty and variety in the hero selection in this game. That concludes kind of the content review section of this, and I am open to questions about this, obviously, and whatever. And I linked an email earlier in this. You can scroll back maybe to the first little bit. You can find me at gabe@kgesports.ca, or a number of different things. And feel free to reach out if you have any other questions about this or any other parts of this camp. But that's just something I wanted to touch on to say, mostly to express that sense that Overwatch is comically large hammers and megaphones shooting sound waves. And I just think that for people who sometimes are concerned about the violence level in these games, it's worth showing that little selection, a clip of Overwatch to just say, hey, look, this is bright colors and a cartoonish version of the city of Venice. And I just knocked people off of a bridge using a megaphone. And that is how you win in Overwatch. Again, it's not AKs and explosions. So I just wanted to touch on that. So thank you for coming along with me on that journey. And with that, I just want to move back to a short promo and kind of explanation of the camp, and then we'll be done here. Um, yeah, so this is July 15th to 19th, so it's coming up right away in a couple of weeks, just about a month from when I'm recording this. And it is a really exciting opportunity, I think, for students to connect with one another. We're going to be putting them into teams of five that are going to stick together all throughout the camp and hopefully even afterwards into further opportunities. And yeah, we're going to be doing all kinds of drilling and practice, and I'll be speaking to the importance of naming yourself in the game and of your conduct as a player and all those kind of things that have really factored in our journey, some of the different things that we've learned as players who have gone from playing very casually to getting to go to big events in Dallas to play at Dallas DreamHack Overwatch Pro Tournament, and things like that has just been really special to us. But there's a lot that we've learned, so we're going to be doing talking strategy and pressure management, and there's going to be opportunities for these students to learn a lot and play together, and yeah, hopefully really start to identify with the game and with their team and with the opportunity to play for each other, to choose not just the character that you want to play, but the character that is really going to benefit your team at any given moment. And yeah, to kind of learn those kind of team play and compromise and time pressure and pressure management skills and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a really great week that way. And it's going to run 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., which is a time frame that we've got a number of questions about. So we're going to be looking into how to make that a little bit more manageable for pickups and drop offs and all those kind of things. So stay tuned for more information on that. But yeah, to register, you can visit the website, which isn't listed here for some reason, but you can visit the website. That's Redeye Gaming Lounge, I think, .ca, or just look up Redeye Gaming and you should be able to find it quickly. It's also down here in Abbotsford. It's on Gladys, so you can just come into the store and register there, or Jordan's got the phone number listed there that you can find. The price point I do want to touch on as well. It includes a free custom jersey. I'm not totally sure what Jordan's method of delivering that and getting the names and numbers on it and then getting it back in a reasonable time frame is. So I will ask him that myself, and that's something you can ask him if you give him a call or you go into the center. Um, so that definitely explains part of this price point, but I do want to identify and express that this was a price point that actually surprised me as someone who's working on this camp with Jordan from Redeye, and was something that I felt would have maybe been a point of concern for my family, even growing up, would have been something that might have dissuaded my family from enrolling me in this camp when I was younger. And that is something that was disappointing to me. And so I do want to express, first of all, my sympathy for that, but also that while I can't change that a whole lot, I do want to make this as reasonable for people as possible. And so what we're going to be able to do here is for those of you who are connected to me or connected to KG Esports, basically, if you're watching this video, this is going to be available to you. Um, that we from KG Esports want to subsidize that down by $50, which I know is not life changing, but hopefully is something that just shows to you our intentionality and how important this is to me and to all of us at Kelowna Gas Esports that this be accessible and reasonable for you and for your kid to hopefully come and explore a really cool opportunity to be a part of a team and yeah, compete in kind of a path to professional esports. And that's something that we're really passionate about. And so I do want to say that we are going to be trying to subsidize that down for you. And stay tuned again for how exactly that's going to look, whether that'll be Kelowna Gas just reimbursing $50 to people who sign up using the through the Kelowna Gas kind of connection, or if we're going to be able to get Jordan to set up an alternative registration link with that discount. But whatever the case, I just want to say that we're offering that. So again, that's going to be going down from $249.99 to $199.99 because Kelowna Gas is going to be covering $50 of the fee for every student who registers who's got a previous connection to me and to Kelowna Gas Esports and to all of that. So that's just something I wanted to offer to you to hopefully make this more palatable for you. And with that, I just want to say thank you so much for watching and for considering even putting your student into this Kelowna Gas Esports and Redeye Gaming Overwatch 2 camp on July 15th. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you there.